Hey, this is Jeanette at the Not So Perfect Mom, and I have a book haul. These are all the books that I purchased in April and mid-May. So there's quite a few books here, so I'm going to get right to it. Some of them I will be able to talk to you a little bit about, and some of them I won't be able to. Some of them are recommendations from other channels that I've seen, and some of them are from the classic book list. If you've seen my bookshelf tour of my classic books, I'm slowly filling in gaps that I have. I've printed off a list of all the books that I would like to have own read that are classics, and I've been slowly picking them up in editions that I want in my local used bookstore. And here we go. The first book is The Glass Books of the Dream Eaters, Volume 1 by Gordon Delquist. Let me read you a line from the back. Roger Bascombe regretfully wishes to inform Celeste Temple that their engagement is forthwith terminated. So this is kind of like a Victorian sounding novel where the Miss Temple is jilted, and so she goes in search of him, and it says it brings her into a collision course with a killer and a spy. Then the last sentence says, in a bodice-ripping, action-packed roller coaster ride of suspense, betrayal, and richly fevered dreams. Sounded good to me. The next one I picked up is Brain on Fire by Susanna Cahallahan. I'm not sure how to say that. This is, I saw this originally on Acacia Ives' channel. I will link her down below. She does a lot of like mental health books, and that's my jam, so I particularly have seen this one on her channel. And it's about a woman who slowly or quickly descends into a madness, and they're trying to figure out if it's mental or physical or both, and how they can help her. The next two are kind of boring. These are homeschool books. My son is taking French next year to get his credits, so I bought him a French dictionary, and my daughter wants to take Spanish next year. We did Japanese this year, and next year she wants to do Spanish, so I bought her a big, huge, thick Spanish dictionary. The next one I picked up is Watership Down by Richard Adams. This was recommended through, or mentioned through, arrrrgh Schooling, her channel. She talks about this book like all the time, and it was also on my classic books list, so 2 checks with 1. And this is the story of rabbits. That's all I know. It involves rabbits. It sounded good. If you watch her channel, you'll know what it's about, and she probably explained it way better than I did. This one is The Book of Secrets by Elizabeth Joy Arnold, and it is about a woman whose husband writes her a note and leaves her, which seems to be a theme here, doesn't it? And he's gone back to their hometown, and there's a lot of stuff in the past that she doesn't want to go back, but she's trying to figure out what's going on. And there's a lot of literary references in it. They mention Robinson Crusoe, Romeo and Juliet. I believe the Chronicles of Narnia is mentioned, and that piqued my interest, so I picked that one up. And then I Was Sent, Harmless Like You by Rowan Hisayu Buchanan. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. And this is about a Japanese woman who lives in New York, and it's kind of her life story and struggles, and then it runs parallel with her son's life, where she has abandoned him when he was 2, and he's trying to come back in and find out why his mother abandoned him at that age, or at any age. But then the next book is Chasing Matisse, and it's A Year in France, Living My Dream. This is by James Morgan, and him and his wife or girlfriend, I forget which one it is, but they sell everything. They live in America, they sell everything, and then they travel to Europe, and they go to visit all the places that Matisse lived during his lifetime, and I think that sounds fascinating. I love the idea of selling everything and just traveling. And then I picked up Dearly Beloved, and Leah Habel is the author, and this is a zombie romance, I guess. She is a human. She falls in love with a zombie who is trying to stop the change and save the world. Interesting? Slightly. This is The Water Witch. Isn't that a gorgeous cover? By Juliet Dark. And this is a family of witches, and there is a witch war going on, and she is half fae, half witch, half fae, and she has to decide her loyalty, which I thought that sounded pretty interesting. And then I have the Boleyn Deceit by Laura Anderson, and this is set during the Tudor period of history, and it's kind of a love triangle kind of thing. The prince or king loves her, and she loves another, and he's engaged to somebody else, and lots of drama and courtliness going on there. And then I won this in a giveaway. It's Justice by Another Name by E.C. Haynes, and this is like a sheriff is trying to solve a mystery of some dead people. I know I'm eloquent, aren't I? And he has to go against the town's most prominent, businessman kind of thing. And it sounded pretty good. And then I picked up No Longer at Ease by Chinua Achebe. This is the second book in the African trilogy. I read book one. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I read the first book in it, and it was really good. And it talks about the plight of Africans, what was going on when the Christians came. Let's see. And this is just a continuation of the story. This is Unnatural Murder, Poison at the Court of James I, and it's a historical fiction by Anne Somerset. There are even pictures in the center, which I adore. And there are actually pictures of letters, too. Okay, then I picked up for my daughter, I picked up the first 4 books in the So You Want to Be a Wizard series by Diane Duane. These are middle grade fantasy series. The first one, So You Want to Be a oh my lord. So You Want to Be a Wizard. The second one is Deep Wizardry. The third one is High Wizardry. The fourth one is A Wizard Abroad. And there are actually more in this series, but I didn't know if she would like it, and she wasn't with me, so I only picked up the first 4. And then I picked up The City of Ember by Janine Dupre, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this is the first book in a middle grade series. We have book 2, 3, maybe 4 on our shelves already, and I don't remember what this has to do with, honestly, but it was for her. And then I won this in a contest. This is called Effing Awkward, and it's 23 short stories of awkward encounters of the adult variety. I haven't read it yet, but it sounds hilarious. We'll get into that. Let's see. And then I picked up an old edition of the Major Works of Sigmund Freud. We went to a local library sale. These have like paper thin, like Bible thin pages, so I'm like afraid I'm going to rip it. And all the books were 25 cents. So we absolutely love psychology and mental health in reading, my daughter and I. So we definitely picked that one up to delve into the life of Sigmund Freud. He was a weird man. And then I picked up Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, and this was one that was on my classics list of books that I wanted to read. I'm running out of space here. And then I picked up another kind of homeschool related book, and it's The Well-Trained Mind, a Guide to Classical Education at Home by Susan Wise Bauer and Jessie Wise. Now, I know that I'm secular, but I'm pretty sure that Susan Wise Bauer is Christian oriented, so I'm not sure where we'll go with this, but I have seen it recommended on Everybody's Who Homeschools channel, so I wanted to check it out and see what it's all about. And then I picked up a cozy book. This one is Agatha Raisin and the Walkers of Dimbley by M.C. Beaton. And I've been slowly collecting all of the books, see if I can get the glare off of it, in this series. And I don't know what this one's about. I just know that they're cozy mysteries, and the ones that I have read I've actually really loved. And then I picked up Out by Natsuo Karina. I'm not sure. This one is a Japanese mystery, and it's about a brutal murder. That's all I know. I've seen it recommended on BookTube, and I came across it and thought, well, let's pick that up and see what that looks like. And then I picked up I think this is a middle grade one, and I've seen it recommended on 1001 Children's Books to Read Before You Die list, and it is The Wolves of Willoughby's Chase, and it's by Joan Aiken. So this will be a homeschool book that we pick up to read out loud. And then we picked up this old edition of Hemingway. It's For Whom the Bell Tolls, and this is one of the books that was on my classic list that I told you I was printed off. And then this was one I won in a contest, and it's Silence of the Flans by Laura Bradford, and this is a emergency dessert squad mystery, and she is a baker and she owns her own shop, and her boyfriend is a science teacher, I believe. At least he's a teacher. One of his students is failing, and he's giving the student extra credit by working in her shop, but somebody gets poisoned at the school, and therein lies the mystery. And then I picked up The Society of S by Susan Hubbard. I can't quite remember what this one was, but I did read it and the back of it, and I'd heard about it before. And so I picked that one up. Way to go, Jeanette. Way to be prepared. But there really is so many books here. And then I picked up Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything, and I want to work this one into our curriculum next year for 12th grade. It's a big book. So, and then I picked up 3 books by Anne Rand. These were all on my classic books list of books that I wanted to own. And I know this one is Anthem, and it's the Centennial Edition. But this is a science fiction story. And then this one is The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, and it's philosophical fiction. I'm not sure. You know, what would the world be without this? And then the last one I picked up was Atlas Shrugged, and I have absolutely no idea what this one's about. Won't I be surprised? I have a habit of going into books blind, so I don't know if that makes me the worst person to do these. Okay, then I picked up 1949 by Morgan Llewellyn, and it is about Ireland, actually not Irish, Ireland, and it's their history, and this is part of a series. I believe there's 2 or 3 more books. One is 1916 and one is 1921. It's the history of Ireland, which I found fascinating. And then I picked up The Road from Corrine by Jill Kerr Conway, and this was a story of, I believe this one was from a girl, her life in Australia, and then she comes to America, I believe. I'm not sure, but it was her life growing up in Australia. And then I picked up The Good Women of China, and this one was about a woman. Let's see. X-Ran. I don't know how to say this lady's name. I'm sorry. And this is a story of she's like I believe this radio DJ. She works for the government's radio system in China, and she's trying to help the plight of women, and she's trying to do it while not being censored by the Chinese government, which I think is notorious for what they can and can't say, and I thought that was very intriguing. And then for my daughter who wants to be a writer when she grows up, we picked up On Being a Writer by edited by Bill Strickland, and the introduction is by Will Blythe. And this is completely for her. And it just has, I think, different sections on different writers and inspiration and advice from each one. And then I picked up Japan, The Art of Living, because I absolutely love Japanese culture and the simplicity of the way that they do things, and I am trying to cut back. Obviously not on books, right? And it has gorgeous pictures inside of it. And for $1, you really can't beat it. It's been on my wish list on Amazon for quite a while. And then the last book in this huge haul is The Artist's Complete Guide to Facial Expressions by Gary Fagan, I believe. And this is for my children who are all artists. My son is very talented. He's, does a lot of work. My daughter is trying really hard to be talented. And my youngest she's got a natural ability. And so these are for them so that they can practice working on facial expressions and the head, which seems to trouble them. So anyway, those are all the books that I have purchased in April and May, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.